Alright, welcome back. This is part 4 of the Ashy way, and now we're going to talk about the visions. So it's more thinking about, alright, how is it going to look like in the future? What is that I have and we have prepared for our members? So again, let's say four areas: the playing, the coaching, the style, and the impact. It sounds blurry at the moment, but you'll see where I come from when I'm speaking about this. The first word is about playing. So what is the playing environment that we're going to create for our players? First thing is about the pathways. You will see other documents when you see the pathway of what we want to create at Ashburton, but the most important thing is it has to be tailored. So you want to have some players who are just coming for recreation football. So you have to have that pathway for them. It can be the holiday programs, it can be a one-off session, outdoor, indoor. That pathway is an important entry point. Then you got the participation. It's basically what we do. Participation, everyone can play, different levels, you can play with your friends. So a lot of people are looking for that kind of pathway. Then you got the performance pathway, the one we've started with the NPL this year. It is very, very challenging to have all those three pathways in one club with and to manage all those resources to provide all of this. But it's probably Ashburton competitive advantage over other clubs is that you can give a lot of different football experience to a lot of different kids, and it needs to remain absolutely so tailored pathway to develop. What kind of player do we want? We want authenticity, identity, and intelligence. We always say maybe, all right, we're going to create a team model, for example. So that team model is going to show us exactly how you want to play. But we're going to go the other way around. What we want to do is, okay, so what are the players that we have and what is the kind of football that we can play with them? And then you'll see that the players will become the model. And it's going to be very, very interesting. And then again, the third point is to have home ground players. If in the future we can have in our first team 90% of it, maybe everyone who's come through all the Ashburton age groups and steps, I think we can be very proud of that. So it is something that we need to seek, trying to get as many of our kids to play again from their first to their last game for as long as possible and to play for our first team. Now let's think about coaching. So again, coaching is going to be very, very, very important, and it's still very important. And you got a lot of different views on coaching. But as a club, we need to make sure that our coaching experience is accessible, that everyone can be involved. If they have played before, if they haven't played, they are parents, if they are professional coach, they want to make a career in it, that kind of thing. So the club needs to be ready to invite first and nurture that kind of coaches. But it needs to, as well to be a very, very hard experience. It needs to be a very demanding one, because you want to have top coaches. But think about it, we're not thinking about having the top football, but we're working with kids. So we almost have to everyone almost needs to go through a teaching kind of curriculum, because we're working with kids. So it needs to be very demanding in that aspect, in how we handle child policy, child health, protection, and then the football will come. So if it can be as demanding, at least on the basics, how we handle kids, and then on the how we teach football, I think we'll have a good experience. And the last one, again, and I stressed it again, is where anybody can start the journey. We've started with the Future Coaches program at the club, where 15, 16, 17 years old boys and girls can become coaches, or even can become referees, because I can have the referees in this program. So we've been doing it, so we need to continue this, because all our coaches in the future, they're going to come from our parents and they're going to come from our players. Yeah, style. And the third word would probably be the style. So it's about playing style, coaching style, really how do we look like on the pitch? How do we want the football to look like? And I stressed it enough with everyone, and sometimes everyone don't understand that we want to play good football, but it doesn't mean that it has to be like Barcelona or has to be like Ajax or that kind of thing. But it has to be enjoyable and a recognizable way. That means we need to make sure that if we see a green jersey and we see the way they play, it's Ashburton. Yeah, that's exactly how they play. It's about playing. It's also about learning and teaching and watching. So all this teaching, learning, playing, watching, it has to be enjoyable and recognizable. So we have to build that identity. And let's say, all right, I want to play good football, but I want to explain you exactly what is good football. So for me, first, it's fun to play. It has to be fun to play for everyone at every level. It has to be beautiful to watch because, yeah, look, if you want to have people to come and see your games, you have to give them something that is interesting to watch, something a little bit spectacular. Then it has to be smart because we are developing intelligent players. So if we are developing the players to play a certain way, and we cut them when they come into seniors and we don't make them think about what they're doing, look, I think it's not worth the investment. Then we want it to be creative. It's part of beautiful to watch, and we want it to be meaningful. You have to teach the game and play the game in a way that goes beyond the game, beyond football, beyond yourself. There is a lot of things that we can teach and educate. It can be kids, it can be seniors, within the game, with the game, that we really need to stress and we really need to build to work on. And the end is the impact. It's more about the impact on the community. It has to be long term. We have to think, okay, over 10 years, over 20 years, how are we going to look like in our community? How are we going to support? How are we going to educate the community first to improve the football culture, like we said in the connect phase, in the part 2, but also going beyond the game. And again, it's probably due to the context, but now we have to think, okay, what will happen when football stops? And we had that question, we asked ourselves that question this week, what happens when football stops? So we need to find answers. So we're more than a football club. So we have to find ways to help our members, because our members come to us. We probably have more like that. We can probably touch 6,000 people around Ashburton. So we are important. So the way we do things and the way we influence can have an impact on the community. So we really need to think about how we're gonna do things. And again, let's have a little summary of it. So playing experience we want, the coaching experience we want, the impact we're going to make on the community with football, and then the style we want to play and teach. Again, here we are in a part with the visions that can change. So it is an extra step of the Ashy that I'm giving to you because it's an implementation of it. But you can come up with different things here. You can be creative and think, all right, I would like to imagine the coaching a little bit differently, and that's totally fine. But remember that the mission of the club, what is the Ashy way, the fundamentals and the mantras, they cannot be changed. They can be updated, but it cannot be changed. And you need to, again, I said, trust the process. So put it on, implement it for 5, 10 years, 15 years, and see where you go. And it's your responsibility now to take this Ashy way with you, to learn about it a little bit more, to read about it a little bit more, and then share it. it is not it's not a printed document. You have to take the ideas in your head, and then you have to share them with someone. It has to be told, not read. It's like the Vikings when they told their story. They didn't write them, they were talking from generation to generation to generation. And there is nothing new in the Ashy way that you don't know already. But it's just us spreading the message again and telling the story of the club. And I hope that the Ashy way will last for a long, long time. But I would like you to not send any written paper about it, but I want you to now, if you have to send a text now, if you had to talk to someone about it now, talk to them about one of the mantras, about one of the fundamentals, or about what it inspires you to do. And if you get inspired today, if you have that feeling that, all right, I feel that this is me, or I feel that this is not me. If this is not you, you should leave the club. But if this is you, all right, now what do I want to do? How do I want to contribute? How do I want to be remembered? So now this is your moment. This is your time. Be a good ancestor and apply the Ashy way.